What if the real reason you keep waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. has nothing to do with aging, and everything to do with when you drink water? It sounds harmless, a glass after dinner, a sip before bed. But for thousands of elders across America, this quiet habit is silently wrecking their sleep. No full bladder, no pain, just restless nights and foggy mornings. But here's the twist. It's not about drinking less, it's about drinking smarter. In this video, we reveal the surprising hydration mistake that's stealing your sleep, and how to fix it gently. As people grow older, many assume that waking up during the night is just another side effect of aging, something that just happens. But there's more going on beneath the surface, something most people, even doctors, rarely explain in simple terms. Deep inside your body, a quiet hormone is trying to do its job, but over the years, it begins to lose strength. And when that happens, your peaceful sleep slowly starts to break apart. That hormone is called vasopressin. You've probably never heard of it. It doesn't get the attention of hormones like insulin or estrogen, but vasopressin plays a critical role in how your body handles water, especially at night. Its job is simple but powerful, to tell your kidneys to slow down urine production while you sleep. When this hormone is flowing at the right levels, your kidneys gently pause, allowing your bladder to stay calm and undisturbed for hours. But here's the catch. As you age, your body produces less vasopressin at night. This drop doesn't feel like much at first. Maybe you start waking up once around 4 a.m. to use the bathroom. But as the years pass, the pattern becomes more frequent, twice a night, maybe even 3 times. And the strange thing, you don't always feel like your bladder is full. It's just enough of a signal to wake you. Without vasopressin keeping things in check, your kidneys don't get the memo to slow down. So they continue filtering fluids at the same pace, even while you sleep. That means your bladder fills faster, creating those inconvenient urges at the worst possible time, during your deepest sleep cycles. And when your brain is pulled out of those stages repeatedly, it becomes harder to fall back asleep. The next morning, no matter how long you were in bed, you still feel tired, foggy, and drained. To make matters worse, this isn't just about vasopressin. Aging also brings changes in kidney function overall. Your kidneys become a little slower and less efficient at filtering waste. So even if you drink the same amount of water as you did 10 years ago, your body doesn't handle it the same way. Fluids take longer to process. The balance becomes harder to maintain. And your bladder? It becomes more sensitive too, sending signals to your brain even when only a small amount of urine is present. That's why some elders wake up with an urgent feeling only to find their bladder was barely 1/3 full. The nerves inside have simply become more reactive, more anxious. It's not a disease. It's not a sign that something is broken. It's just a quiet shift happening inside, a natural part of how the body changes with time. But once you understand what's really going on, the hormonal changes, the bladder sensitivity, the kidney slowdown, you can take back control. And here's the most important part. This doesn't mean you have to drink less water. That's a mistake many people make, cutting down on fluids completely, only to cause dehydration and even more stress on the kidneys. The real solution lies in adjusting the timing, supporting your body's natural rhythm instead of fighting it, giving your organs the space they need to rest, recover, and work at their best, especially at night. So the next time you find yourself waking up before dawn, don't blame your age, and don't assume your body is failing. It might just be that a missing message from a hormone most people have never even heard of is no longer being delivered. And once you learn how to work with your body's new rhythm, instead of ignoring it, deep and restful sleep can return, quietly, naturally, and without pills or pain. But of course, understanding the hormone is only the beginning. Because the real damage doesn't just come from the absence of vasopressin. It comes from a mistake many elders make every evening without realizing. And that's where we're going next. You've probably heard it 100 times. Drink more water. It's good for you. And that's true. Water is essential. But here's what no one tells you. The timing of that water might be silently wrecking your sleep. Most people don't connect their evening glass of water to the 2 a.m. bathroom trip. It seems innocent enough. A glass with dinner, a few sips before bed, maybe a cup of tea to unwind. But here's what's happening behind the scenes. By the time the sun sets, your kidneys are naturally preparing to slow down. They're shifting into rest mode, just like the rest of your body. Blood pressure drops, heart rate slows, and your body enters recovery mode. But when you flood your system with water after 6 or 7 p.m., you're forcing your kidneys to stay active, pushing them to keep filtering, keep filling the bladder, and keep interrupting your sleep. Now picture this. You drink a glass of water with dinner, maybe another glass at 8 p.m. because you're a little thirsty. Then at 9, you sip on ginger tea or haldi milk, thinking it's a healthy habit. Each one of these seems small, but they quietly stack up. By 1 or 2 a.m., your bladder is full enough to trigger that familiar signal, not because your body needed to wake, but because the wrong timing put pressure on your kidneys and bladder when they were supposed to be resting. This is why so many elders find themselves waking at the same times every night. 1:30 a.m., 3 a.m., 4:15. The pattern feels strange, almost mechanical. That's because it is. Your body is running on a predictable cycle, one that's being disrupted not by what you're drinking, but when you're drinking it. The truth? If you shift your hydration to the first half of the day, your body gets what it needs, without paying the price later. Urologists across America and abroad now suggest that elders aim to drink 70 to 80% of their daily fluids between 6 a.m. and 4 p.m. That's when your kidneys are most active, your blood flow is stronger, and your metabolism is in full swing. Your body can handle larger amounts of water during this window, process it properly, and empty the bladder well before bedtime. After 5 p.m., you begin to slow down. This is when your hydration should taper off, not ramp up. A few sips here and there are fine, especially if you're taking medication. But avoid full glasses of water unless absolutely necessary. There's also a trap many elders fall into, the catch-up effect. They forget to drink water during the day and then suddenly remember in the evening. So they drink 2 or 3 glasses in a row, trying to make up for lost time. But all this does is flood the system right when your kidneys should be winding down. You might be hydrating, but at the exact wrong hour. Let me tell you about Ramesh Uncle from Nagpur. For years, he believed drinking more water before bed would flush toxins overnight. So between 7 and 9 p.m., he'd drink nearly a full liter of water, thinking it was helping him stay healthy. Instead, it became the reason he was waking up 3 times a night. His mornings felt heavy, his energy crashed before lunch, and he blamed it all on age. But when he simply shifted his water intake to earlier in the day, 70% before 3 p.m. and just 1 small glass at 6:30, his sleep transformed. Within 2 weeks, he was sleeping through the night. No medication, no fancy tricks, just better timing. And that's the quiet truth here. You don't need to give up water. You don't need to stop sipping your tea. You just need to shift the habit. When you do, your bladder relaxes, your kidneys rest, and your brain finally gets the uninterrupted sleep it's been craving. But even if you drink at the right times, there's another common mistake that silently trains your bladder to overreact, even when it's nearly empty. And that's where we're headed next. There's a habit many people follow every night, and it feels completely harmless. In fact, it feels smart. Just before bedtime, you head to the bathroom one last time, even if you don't really need to go. It's a routine, a way to avoid midnight interruptions. But what if I told you that this very habit is quietly training your bladder to misfire? Here's how it works. Your bladder is a muscle, and like any muscle, it learns from repetition. When you consistently empty it without a full load, just in case, it begins to expect that same pattern. Over time, it becomes hypersensitive. It starts sending urgency signals when it's only partially full. You feel like you have to go urgently, even if there's barely 100 or 150 milliliters inside. That's less than half a glass of water. Now imagine that happening at 2 a.m., 3:15 a.m., 4 a.m., night after night. You're not waking because your bladder is full. You're waking because your bladder has been taught to panic early. This is called bladder overtraining, and it's far more common than people realize, especially in older adults. What started as a precaution slowly becomes a problem. Think of it like this. If you trained a dog to bark every time someone walked past your house, not even ringing the bell, you'd never get a moment of peace. That's what your bladder is doing. It's not responding to real urgency. It's reacting to a habit that's been reinforced over years. Let me tell you about Mohan Ghee from Hyderabad. For years, he believed that waking up twice a night was just his age catching up. He'd stopped drinking water in the evenings, tried sleeping pills. Nothing worked. But when a doctor told him that his bladder nerves were simply more reactive, not damaged, it shifted everything. He stopped forcing those just-in-case bathroom trips before bed, started listening to his body instead, and with just that one change, his sleep started to improve. You see, we often treat our body like a machine that must be managed, instead of a partner that needs gentle retraining. The truth is, if your bladder's been conditioned to sound the alarm early, you can untrain it. You can reset the signals. It starts with trust. If you don't feel a true urge, skip that final forced bathroom trip. Give your bladder the chance to hold again. Yes, it might feel unfamiliar at first. You might still wake once or twice, but over time, those signals begin to shift. The nerves settle. The bladder learns it doesn't have to yell to be heard. There's another way to support this retraining: breathing. Simple, deep, slow breaths before bed activate your body's parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest state. When this system is active, bladder signals become quieter. Anxiety lowers. The body focuses on healing instead of reacting. Try sitting still for just 5 minutes before lying down. One hand on your chest, the other on your belly. Breathe in deeply through your nose and slowly out through your mouth. This calms the mind and the bladder. You can also try massaging the lower abdomen in a gentle clockwise motion. This relaxes the surrounding muscles and sends a message of safety to your internal systems. And when you do wake up in the middle of the night, don't rush. Sit up slowly. Ask yourself calmly, do I truly feel full? If the answer is no, lie back down. Breathe. Let the body rest. You're not ignoring your need. You're teaching your bladder patience. This doesn't mean forcing discomfort or pushing through a real urge. It simply means reconnecting to what's real and what's been trained. Because here's the truth. Your bladder isn't broken. It's just confused. And the best way to bring it back into rhythm isn't with force, but with quiet, gentle habits that rebuild trust between your body and brain. But even with a trained bladder, your sleep can still be disrupted if your fluid intake is out of sync with the day. And that brings us to one of the most overlooked but powerful fixes of all: resetting your hydration clock. By now, you know it's not just about how much water you drink, it's about when you drink it. And to restore peaceful sleep, you need to reset your hydration clock. Think of your day like a curve. In the morning, your body is full of energy. Your heart pumps faster. Your kidneys filter more efficiently. Your digestion is quicker. That's when your system is designed to handle fluids. But as the sun starts to set, everything begins to slow down, including your ability to process water smoothly. So why do so many elders drink the majority of their water in the evening? For most, it's not intentional. In the early hours, they may be too busy, making tea, reading the newspaper, rushing through routines. Water feels optional. Then, sometime around 5 or 6 p.m., a quiet guilt creeps in. Oh, I forgot to drink today. So they start playing catch-up, One glass, then another, then a third with dinner, maybe a comforting cup of tea after. But all that hydration comes too late. The kidneys are no longer operating at full capacity, so instead of filtering and passing that water efficiently, the body stores it. Then, just a few hours later, when you're finally asleep, the system restarts. The kidneys push that water into the bladder, and suddenly you're wide awake at 2 a.m., wondering why your sleep is broken again. The good news, you can change this, gently, without depriving yourself. Urologists and senior care specialists suggest a simple rule. Consume at least 70% of your daily water between 6 a.m. and 4 p.m. That means 1 glass upon waking, before tea or coffee, 1 to 2 glasses with breakfast, sips every 30-45 minutes through the morning, 1 glass with lunch, another glass mid-afternoon. By 4 p.m., your body should be well hydrated, not overstuffed, just balanced. From there, you slowly begin to taper off. Now, that doesn't mean going dry after sunset. You should still sip if you're thirsty. If you're taking medications, of course you need a little water to swallow them. But instead of full glasses, aim for small, slow sips. 150 milliliter or less. That's just 1 small steel glass or a few spoonfuls. Let me share the story of Lakshmi Maji, a graceful 70-year-old woman from Coimbatore. For years, she woke up like clockwork, 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 4:30. She thought it was just her age, but when she looked at her routine, she realized she was drinking 2 glasses of water after 7 p.m., plus a warm haldi milk before bed. She didn't stop drinking, she simply moved it. Now she starts her morning with warm water and drinks steadily until mid-afternoon. By 5:30 p.m., her hydration is winding down. And after 7, just 2 or 3 sips, only if she's genuinely thirsty. Within a week, she was sleeping 7 full hours without interruption. No pills, no medical procedures, just a new rhythm. I didn't know water had a schedule, she laughed, but my body clearly does. That's the secret. Your body isn't trying to betray you, it's just working with the signals it receives. And the timing of your water intake is one of the most powerful signals of all. Another tip. If you take medications at night that require water, don't drink a whole glass. Just use enough to swallow comfortably. And if your medicine tends to make you thirsty, try a spoonful of room temperature water every few minutes, instead of gulping all at once. This reduces the chance of overwhelming your kidneys. By aligning your hydration with your body's natural pace, you're not just reducing bathroom trips. You're giving your organs the chance to rest, your bladder the chance to reset, and your brain the chance to rebuild through uninterrupted sleep. And yet, even with perfect hydration timing, there's one more overlooked mistake: what you eat and drink in the evening. Because even the healthiest foods, if eaten too late, can silently sabotage your sleep. That's what we'll uncover next. You've done everything right. Water intake is balanced, the timing is better, and you're even retraining your bladder. But sleep still breaks. And strangely, it happens a few hours after dinner, like clockwork. The mistake? It's hiding not in what you drink but what you eat, especially in the evening. Here's the quiet truth. Certain foods and drinks, even the healthy ones, can push your bladder into overdrive at night. They don't seem like culprits. In fact, many feel comforting: a warm soup before bed, a glass of milk, a light salad. But beneath that comfort is a layer of fluid that quietly builds, hour by hour, until your bladder has no choice but to wake you. Take watery foods, broths, soups, even something as simple as a thin lentil dish. These are fluid heavy. You might not count them as part of your water intake, but your kidneys do. And when these meals are eaten late, they act like hidden hydration. While your body is trying to wind down, it's being asked to keep processing. And sure enough, just a few hours after lying down, your bladder starts to signal. Not because you drank too much water, but because your meal added more than you realized. Then there are the comforting evening drinks: herbal teas, warm milk, fruit-infused water. They feel like part of a relaxing bedtime routine. But many of these drinks contain not just fluids, but natural compounds that encourage urination. Green tea, chamomile, even caffeine-free blends, they're all mild diuretics. That means they gently push your kidneys to produce more urine. So while you sip to feel calm, your bladder is being primed to interrupt your sleep. There's another sneaky culprit: raw vegetables and fruit. Cucumbers, tomatoes, watermelon, citrus, all refreshing and hydrating, but also packed with natural acids and water. When eaten close to bedtime, especially in a raw or juiced form, they can irritate the bladder lining. This increases sensitivity and urgency, often with just a small amount of urine. You think you're making a healthy choice, but your sleep pays the price. And it doesn't stop there. Salty or overly seasoned foods at night also trigger thirst. That craving for just a little water after a spicy or heavily salted dinner. It might feel harmless, but it adds extra liquid just before bed, restarting the same cycle you've worked so hard to break. What's worse, salt causes the body to retain fluid earlier in the evening, then release it later as the body tries to balance itself. This delayed reaction often results in a full bladder right in the middle of your deepest sleep. The solution isn't to avoid these foods completely, it's to shift when you enjoy them. Soups, fruits, teas, salads, they all have a place in your diet. But when taken earlier in the day, they nourish you without interfering with your body's need for rest. Take a salad, for example. Eaten at lunch, it's refreshing, hydrating, and easy to digest. But eaten at 8 p.m., those same ingredients, tomatoes, cucumber, lemon dressing, can turn into a subtle sleep disruptor. The difference isn't the food, it's the timing. Likewise, warm drinks can still be part of your routine, but try moving them up. A cup of calming tea at 6 p.m. feels just as soothing as one at 9 p.m., and it gives your body more time to handle the fluid. Even the smallest tweaks, like switching from raw to steamed vegetables at night or spacing out fluid-heavy meals, can lead to better nights. One shift at a time, your body learns that evenings are for winding down, not staying on high alert. Because when the bladder is calm, the body rests. And when the body rests, the mind follows. Sleep isn't just about what you do in bed. It's about the choices you make before you even lie down. But there's still one more piece of the puzzle: your movement, your sleeping position, even what you wear to bed. These small physical habits can either support your sleep or quietly sabotage it. And that's what we'll look at next. If this helped you understand even one new thing, leave a comment with the word HOPE. It might encourage someone else watching in silence. And if you're ready to reclaim your sleep, hit subscribe and tap the bell icon so you never miss another tip that could quietly change your life. Share this with someone who needs it, because better sleep is a gift worth passing on.